This is an experimental film. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi, honey. Hey, stick with me, kid. I'm onto something here. Are you really? Yeah. Um, all right. Today, our ruin card is Jesus and home. Oh, and our guest uh, card is the Eagles song and featuring the song Take It Easy. But we're not going to sing that right now because we're taking it easy, right? Yeah, that's exactly true. That's the assignment for today. In honor of Mother Yoko's 90th birthday and in honor of the pandemic, okay, in honor of the pandemic, we just watched the film The Pink Cloud, which is it. It was a film written and directed and but not released, but it was written and directed before the COVID pandemic hit, and it's about a mysterious pink cloud that covers the environment and makes it impossible for people to go outside. There's no way they can go outside. If they go outside, they're dead in 10 seconds. So it shows life living inside and doing much the same as people are doing now, uh, and we're doing, especially during the early days of the pandemic, not going out at all. Now people are kind of wandering out there. They're more than wandering out there, but this thing in the movie, The Pink Cloud, was not possible to go out. You couldn't. There were no masks that could protect you, and it was impossible. If you went out, you were going to die. And it just showed the different personality types of this man and woman who were locked up together and how each one handled it. And one handled it in a way that he was so happy. In so many ways, he was very satisfied. He grew to love this woman that he barely knew when they were locked up together. They were a one night stand when the cloud hit. And they had a child together, and she all she can think of is the future and how this will impact their child if this cloud does not go away, and what a freakish life she perceives he will have until finally his parents die, and then he will be alone, and all she can do is think about the future. Right, John? Yeah. Do they remind you of us a little bit? They Now that I'm thinking about the card that we drew today and how the guy's attitude was like, we should be happy with what God, and he was praying. They showed him praying. They never really showed her doing anything like that, having faith. But he had faith that everything would turn out all right, that God would not forsake him. And in the end, I believe she died. She went out into the cloud, but they never show her going down. They just show her standing on the balcony, and when you reach 10 seconds, the camera goes dead. So, but I'm assuming she perished. But, well, if she perished, she went to God. But, she left behind a family that loved her because she just felt that she couldn't bear not knowing what the future would hold. Right. So you're comparing me to that chick in that movie? I think used to be more like that. But now, tell me how you feel now, being locked up in here with me. How do I feel? I feel fortunate. You're the most wonderful soul. I mean, I I don't know of anyone who's happier than me. I mean, the only thing I would like is more animals. You know that. I would love to, and I love nature. So I do miss laying in grass. I miss swimming in the ocean. I miss sitting at the mountain, any mountain, at the lake, any lake. And I miss animals. Want to go to our farm sanctuary where we support so actively, where we would be honored guests there. So there are those things that I want to do, but I don't wake up horribly depressed like that woman, or wish for death, or what. I just want to hear you say these things. I suspect that you feel that way, honey, but I'd like to hear you say it, and mean it. I do mean it. I mean it, honey. What's funny about that film is we usually have a pink, psychedelic light on in here, like a pink fluorescent light, and that was the color of the cloud in the movie. And then at one point in the movie, the cloud turned green, and this week we added green lights in the room. And when the cloud turned green, you thought that maybe that everything was going to be okay, but then it turned pink again. Yeah, yeah. It like fucked with their heads. She thought they were gonna go out and that it was all gone, but no, they couldn't. Well, uh, a lot of prophecies come in the form of art and film and writing. Many of the great prophets are artistic, and their work turns into like prescient, uh, right? And this film is one of those. This film is one of those. And yes, it was conceived and took place right before the pandemic. And I think anyone who has been affected in any way by the pandemic, positively or negatively, will see themselves in this film, in one of the characters in this film, even if it's the child, like a child born into the pandemic, right? They don't know any differently than being very careful and wearing masks or not going out at all, or right, right. Would you, I mean, if that was you and I, would you opt to have a child with me? I- If we were in the pandemic together? Well, we are in the pandemic, but if I, if, yeah, I would, honey. I wouldn't let anything like that stop me. You, only you. Okay, but, well, wasn't I kind of like a stranger when we reconnected? Well, it's like that song. We will still be strangers when we meet. When we reconnected in 2013, and started becoming intimate pretty quickly thereafter, it was like meeting somebody for the first time that you just fell head over heels in love with. But then the longer we talked and shared, I started to realize the truth that this was no stranger, that you, John, are somebody that is the other half of me, right? And everything, like an onion, the layers of an onion, it started all, one thing led to another, and everything just started making sense, like my song Glass Onion. Yeah, yeah, you could see where everything was leading, and you just, oh Jesus, yes, here we are. And yeah, it's you. Okay, it is you. And it just so happens to be you, Lennon. Strange to always circle back to that fact. Oh yes, I am back with the love of my life, and it's the guy who was John Lennon, but I've known him in so many other lives that Lennon thing is, it's an exciting surprise in some ways, but in other ways it's incidental. Is that correct to say? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. hmm I love that you don't make a big deal about it. Good God. That would be a real drag for me if you behaved like a fan. Yeah, no, I don't. But I am. I'm a fan. I think you're a wonderful person. Thanks, honey. Yeah. So, real low key. I mean, maybe we'll come back later. What do you say and do a song? Well, we'll see how we feel. But again, the hi Joe Walsh. Hi, yeah, yeah, I'd like you to do a song. All right, yeah, all right, Joe. We will. We'll do a song later. We'll get up and roll up our sleeves. But that movie was very. It was moving, and so we wanted to do a shout out about the movie The Pink Cloud, and so the theme today is home, and Jesus will get you home. Yeah, and that guy knew that. I mean, it was difficult. He saw he was a compassionate man, and he saw a lot of people around him being affected and being hurt, including himself, when he had to face the fact that there was nothing he could do to help his older father, his father who was suffering from dementia and living alone as an invalid, and there was nothing he could do for him. Right. Yeah. It's a little frightening. Yeah. Hmm. When that becomes the reality. But at a certain point, you just have to let go and let God. Not every moment of this physical life is a comfort or a luxury. It's not the way. Well, it could have been, but you're saying mankind screwed things up. There's a reason when these disasters take place, there's an energy that comes around. Yeah, yeah. But have faith, honey, that Jesus Christ is with you and in you and is seeing you safely home. Yes, yes, Lord. Now, the woman in that movie, what do you think of her move to step outside? It was her prerogative. She had the child sort of against her will. She didn't really want to bring a child into the whole mess, but for whatever reason, they either ran out of contraceptives or I don't know what happened, but they don't really go into it, but they did have the child. So you could say, oh, how could this mother leave her child? It was either going to be sooner than later, she figured. That's how I see it. And we're giving away all this stuff about the movie. If you, yeah, well, that's all right. They should still watch it. It's a film definitely worth watching and examining for many different reasons, just to see how your own reaction to it is. And it will make you think. You need to. We all need this type of spiritual provocation. We need our thought to examine our feelings and our thoughts and ask ourselves about faith. And I'm here to tell you that the importance of faith cannot be stressed enough. It will prevail, it will get you through, and it will bring you home a lot more comfortable than without it. But either way, you're getting home. Either way. But why give yourself a rocky ride? Yeah. I sense you worrying even as we talk about this. The film made you worry. The plight of the old man made me worry. Any particular reason? Well, as people get older, they're so vulnerable, and it seems like a cruel God, a cruel mechanism in place that all of a sudden you're at the mercy of whatever it is, the elements or your own body, or other people who maybe would want to victimize you if you're old and helpless. So, those things frighten me. Don't don't let your imagination take you there. Listen to me. God is on our side. Mother is on our side. If God is for us, no one can be against us. We are protected. We are loved. We must have faith. And I have enough faith for the both of us. But it really would help me if you climbed right on board there with me, Lena. I am. And take it easy. Just take it easy, honey. Hi, Mother. Yeah. Hi, Father. I love you so, so much. And that hasn't changed since we were created together. You are a gift to me. If God could give us to one another, that is a very kind and benevolent God. Indeed. Our love will sustain us. Our love will protect us. Our love will keep us together and keep us whole. Amen. Yeah.